Good evening. I would like to call the Community Services Committee meeting to order at 6:30 on May the 24th, 2023 for 6:30 p.m. I will start with the land acknowledgement. Grimsby is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Adirondack, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara and the town of Grimsby stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Sorry. We're now on to approval of agenda. Can I have a mover and seconder for the approval of the agenda? Councillor Howe, Councillor DeFlavio. Resolved that the May the 24th, 2023 Community Services Committee agenda be approved. All in favor? That's carried. We are now on to election of chair, vice chair, and meeting time. Can I have a mover and seconder for the election of the chair position? Councillor Howe, thank you. Councillor DeFlavio, thank you. We now open it up to the floor for any members that would like to put forward their name or suggest somebody's name for the chair position. Just have to use your microphone too, Councillor Howe.
Put Veronica Charwa forward as chair.
Thank you, Councillor Howe. Anybody else want to put forward any names for chair? Seeing none. Councillor Charwa, are you comfortable with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Resolved that Councillor Veronica Charwa be elected as chair of the Community Services Committee. All in favor? That's carried. Can I now have a mover and seconder for the election of the vice chair position? Councillor Korstanji. Thank you, Member Laird. And opening it to the floor for any nominations or expressions of interest for vice chair. Councillor Howe.
Nominate Jennifer Korstanji as vice chair, please.
Is your mic on? Sorry. Do you say that again?
I shall say that again with this thing on. I nominate Jennifer Korstanji for vice chair.
Thank you. Any other nominations or expressions of interest? Councillor Korstanji, are you interested to fulfill that position?
Yes, I'll accept.
Okay. Resolved that Councillor Korstanji be elected as vice chair of the Community Services Committee. All in favor? And that's carried. Next item is, can I have a mover and seconder for the meeting time? So our regular meeting time is the last Wednesday of the month, or fourth Wednesday, I think is technically what it is, at 6:30 in the evening. Or sorry, before I discuss it, I should move it. I move her to discuss it and second. Oh, Councillor Howe, you're there. Thank you. Councillor Korstanji. Open it up for discussion if there's any discussion about the times. I know has been discussed in other meetings, it's very tricky to move the time, so we are hoping we can keep with the set time. We will, however, talk about it at the end of the meeting, a potential change for just for June because of another event, if that's good with everyone. Okay, resolved that the Community Services Committee time of the last Wednesday, or fourth Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. be our regular meeting time moving forward. All in favor? That's carried. I will now turn the chair position over to Councillor Charwa. So I'll switch with you.
So we'll move on to item number 6, receipt of previous minutes for Culture Advisory Committee, May 23rd, 2023. Can I get a mover and seconder to receive the minutes? Councillor Korstanji, Councillor DeFlavio.
Just gonna move this a second. Yes.
Okay, do we have any discussion on the minutes? Councillor Howe.
Through your chair, and probably to Sarah. Sarah, are we going to be moving this around between the three, the museum? This one was at the museum, between the art gallery and the library? Surely we're not going to bring them back into this place.
Through the chair, we are going to move it around a little bit, certainly among a few of the sites that pertain to culture, just so they can see them as well. We did a little tour and such. We may be more partial to certain locations because we may be doing a bit of hybrid, so just making sure we're picking the best location as well that supports a hybrid solution. But the idea is to primarily use the art gallery or museum, possibly even one or two other sites as well.
Resolved that the Culture Advisory Committee minutes of May 23rd, 2023 be received. All in favor? Great, that's carried. The next item of business, seeing as how we do not have any delegations, we're on to consent reports. So 8.1 DCS 2317, Culture Advisory Committee establishing bylaw. 8.2 DCS 2319, free public swimming on heat warning days at the Grimsby Lions Pool. 8.3 DCS 2320, Community Services Department information update for May 2023. Can I get a mover and a seconder for the consent reports? Councillor Howe. And Member Laird.
Just for clarity for everybody's sake, as I know this is the first meeting perhaps with this structure for everybody's awareness, if by doing the consent report, if it gets, if there isn't any lifting of the reports, then they get approved as received. So if you did want to lift a report to discuss something, you would ask now to lift a report, just so there's clarification. If nobody lifts a report, then we move on and they get approved in the consent agenda. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, I just wanted to make sure and not make an assumption. Thank you.
Resolved that the Community Services Committee hereby approves the following items and that the various consent items be approved on the recommendation as contained therein. DCS 2317, Culture Advisory Committee establishing bylaw. DCS 2319, free public swimming on heat days at the Grimsby Lions Pool. DCS 2320, Community Services Department information update for May 2023. That report, DCS 2317, Culture Advisory Committee establishing bylaw 2347, dated May 23rd, 2023, be received. And one, that the Community Services Standing Committee recommends that Council approves bylaw 2347 as attached in Appendix A. And that report DCS 2319, free public swimming on heat warning days at the Grimsby Lions Pool, dated May 24th, 2023, be received. And that the committee approve of the free public swimming on heat warning days program at the Grimsby Lions Community Pool. That report DCS 2320, Community Services Department information update for May 2023, dated May 24th, 2023, be received. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Okay, so on to item number 10, correspondence. There's nothing. On to item 11, other business. Is there any other business members would like to bring forward? Councillor Howe.
Thank you, Chair. Just kind of a reminder for each of us, and especially if you want to see like a guy like this all dolled up. Anyways, the Culture Gala on June 8th at the library. We get a chance to have some entertainment, some nice food, probably partake in a libation or two, and certainly meet and see a lot of people that have a real genuine interest in our town, and, what we are really made of. It's not the flash people, it's the people that are the solid background of the town and supporting the main cultural things, the only cultural things we got, the three, and the support for them. So, boy, if you can be there, be there. Dylan?
Got it.
Got it. Anyways, thank you very much.
Is there any other business? Councillor DeFlavio?
Thank you, Chair. I know that we dealt with things in a consent form. I am going to suggest for future meetings that perhaps your report was excellent for all of the, what's happening kind of information. I think that kind of the point of these committees is to share that information and kind of highlight them. So I would encourage staff to brag about the things that are being done. Otherwise, if we deal with it as in consent, it has the same issue that we had when it was consent at council before, and that is it kind of gets passed over quickly. And there's a lot of great stuff in there, the parks renewal and all of the things that are mentioned in there. And I think that even if it's just a brief presentation that talks about all the things that are being done, and I think it would be helpful for the public who might be watching the meeting and for new members of the committee as well who are not as familiar with some of the things that the department does. So, because it's a huge department and there are a lot of things going on. So it's for information purposes, rather than just putting it in a report and making a consent, I would recommend doing it as a presentation in the future, just to kind of get the word out there about these are all the cool things that are happening in Grimsby and all the neat renovations and things like that are happening. That's all. That's just a suggestion for future meetings through you, Chair.
It's noted, thank you. So our next item is in regards to our next meeting, rescheduling the June meeting. So there are some conflicts. So due to the conflicts with the Peach Bud race, we're looking to reschedule the June meeting from June 27th to June 22nd. Are there any concerns with this? We're okay with that? Okay, perfect. Can I get a mover and a seconder to resolve this item? Councillor Howe, Member Breather. Resolve that Community Services Committee meet on June 22nd, 2023. All in favor? Perfect. It's carried. Okay, that was pretty quick. We've concluded our business and the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.